What if I told you there is something beyond that voice you constantly hear in your mind, something so profound that it could alter the way you perceive everything? We have become so accustomed to that chaotic stream of thoughts that flows endlessly that we have forgotten to explore what lies beneath. But what if, at the exact moment that mental whirlwind fades, you come face to face with a truth that has always been there, waiting to be discovered? Think about that brief moment of silence, because what you find there could redefine what you believe to be the beginning of a spiritual awakening. It happens in those brief moments of stillness, when the mind stops and you finally access a deeper reality. It's as if, for the first time, you are looking at the world without filters, with a clarity that was once hidden. This moment of clarity is an invitation to connect with something much greater, something that has always been with you but is seldom perceived. Higher consciousness does not seek to lose you in your thoughts. Instead of taking you back to the present, where your true essence resides, it is here in the current moment where genuine awareness is revealed. This process is not a revelation of something new, but a realization of what has always been inside of you. If you take a moment to observe, you will notice that beyond the constant mental chatter, there is a calmness, an inner presence that has always been waiting to be discovered. Perhaps you have already felt something like this without consciously realizing it, a moment when everything became silent, time dissolved, and you simply existed in the present. These moments are not as rare as they seem, but often go unnoticed. Today, we will delve deeper into how this spiritual awakening feels. And most importantly, you will understand why the true key to living fully lies in that state of pure presence, where you transcend the mind and discover a life in full consciousness. When you start paying attention to your mind, you may notice something intriguing, and thoughts seem to arise automatically as an inner voice that never ceases. This constant and persistent voice often dominates our perception of reality, creating a continuous story about who we are, what we do, and how we interpret the world. The challenge is not simply that we have thoughts, but that we fully identify with them. Every thought that emerges is accompanied by a sense of identity, a feeling of self that envelops us and leads us to believe that we are what we think at that moment. Unconsciously, we begin to build an identity based on judgments, memories, and future anticipations. This identity, which appears so solid, is actually formed from the automatic flow of our thoughts. But here arises an essential question. Are you the one truly generating these thoughts? Or are the thoughts the ones controlling you? This question invites us to deeply reflect on how we have been living. We believe we have command over what happens in our mind, when in reality, thoughts arise automatically without our conscious intervention. The mind produces assessments, compares, recalls, and predicts, and we simply follow that flow unquestioningly. This process of being carried away by thoughts is an illusion that keeps us trapped in an artificial reality, like living within a dream where every thought shapes our perception and actions. In this state, we lose touch with the present moment, getting caught up in ideas that drag us towards the past with memories and regrets, or towards the future with anxieties and uncertainties. This cycle disconnects us from what it truly means to be alive and aware. However, recognizing this stream of automatic thoughts is the initial step towards awakening consciousness. By starting to notice the voice in your head, a small gap forms between you and your thoughts. This separation let the emergence of presence give you the ability to witness your thoughts without being controlled by them over time. This practice weakens the untrue identity created by the flow of the mind, leading you to a deeper level of awareness where thoughts are just a part of your experience, not the entirety. The voice in your mind will continue to exist, but your relationship with it changes instead of being controlled. You recognize that there is something beyond those thoughts, a consciousness that observes and is present. This understanding marks the beginning of a real awakening, where you clearly distinguish between thinking and being, truly aware what is key to a profound transformation and the awakening of consciousness, the Mao Su Thought by its very nature is restrictive. It is influenced by our past experiences, beliefs, and conditioning. When we are immersed in the continuous flow of thoughts, we get stuck in a repetitive cycle where the same narratives are reproduced time and time again. It's like living in an endless wheel, where thoughts not only shape our emotions and actions, but also the way we perceive everything surrounding us. In this condition, we are at the mercy of our mind, and the illusion of having control over life keeps us trapped in a reality created by the man. Thinking now, if we contrast this with a state of higher consciousness, we find something completely different. Higher consciousness is not bound to memories or future expectations. It simply is. When we are connected to this state of presence, we experience the moment purely, without the need to analyze, label, or judge. The thoughts calm down, leaving space for a broader and deeper perception. In this state, time ceases to be a limiting factor, allowing us to experience life in its most authentic and direct form. Think about being in front of a breathtaking landscape, a sunset painting, the sky with orange and red hues. If your mind is preoccupied, you may notice the beauty, but soon thoughts will start to emerge like what a stunning sunset should come more often. Although these thoughts seem harmless, they actually distance you from the pure experience. Instead of being fully present, you begin to mentally process the moment, creating a barrier between you and the direct experience of the present. Now, imagine the same, but without the mental noise. You simply observe the sunset without judging it, without desiring to change anything in that stillness. The moment deepens and expands, and the feeling of being completely present, alive, and connected to what is happening around you becomes much more intense. This is the state of full consciousness, a direct connection with reality without the interference of thought. This pure consciousness is what we call higher consciousness, a state of being that arises when we stop identifying with the incessant flow of thoughts. Conscious perception reminds you to do it in invites you to your focus, is about being present and creating moments of tranquility where full awareness can emerge. Long periods of silence are not needed to achieve this. A short break in the midst of daily hustle is enough to that space of presence. The true practice of inner awareness lies in the continuous repetition of these moments. Over time, these conscious pauses expand and integrate into your daily life, until the inner space becomes a natural part of your everyday experience. The process of spiritual awakening is more subtle than many often imagine. It is often believed that this awakening is a unique and spectacular event, a revelation that transforms everything in an instant. However, the reality is much smoother and gradual, rather than an immediate transformation. Spiritual awakening manifests in a series of small, brief experiences, moments of clarity and connection, that can change you over time. A different way to live these moments of awareness does not follow a clear pattern, or come with prior signals. Often they arise in the midst of daily activities. Perhaps one day, walking down a street you are familiar with, you experience a profound connection with the present. You notice the rhythm of your strides, feel the gentle breeze on your skin, or pause to observe how the sunlight caresses the leaves of the tree. In that moment, everything else fades away. There are no concerns about the past or anxiety about the future, and you feel a sense of peace that may only last a few seconds, but leaves a mark on your being. These moments of deep connection tend to appear spontaneously, almost imperceptibly if we are not attentive. A common example is when we find ourselves in nature. Picture yourself in front of a towering mountain, the vast expanse of the sea, or even the tranquility of a serene park. Suddenly, something inside you, your thoughts momentarily quiet down, and you sense you have an intimate connection with the surroundings. The rhythmic sound of the waves, the whisper of the wind among the trees, or the simple and peaceful silence of nature envelop you in a feeling of calm and belonging. This is a moment of full awareness, a time when the mind ceases to be the focus, allowing the present to unfold completely. The value of these flashes of clarity is that they do not need a spiritual label to be meaningful. One of the most common traps on the path of spiritual awakening is the tendency to categorize and analyze every experience. By doing so, we risk stripping them of their uniqueness, trying to pigeonhole them into terms or preconceived definitions. However, a flash of consciousness is above all a pure experience, something that goes beyond the need for understanding or explanation. It simply happens effortlessly, without intervention, and it is precisely this simplicity that gives it its transformative power. These moments of clarity are. Presence plays a crucial role in our inner development, even though they may seem fleeting or subtle. Each one of them has the power to bring us closer to a deeper and more consistent state of awareness. Through these small openings, we begin to understand that true peace is not found in solving every challenge or controlling every situation, but in being fully present with what is happening. In this precise moment, every time we experience this state, no matter how brief, a seed of awareness is planted within us, and over time, these seeds start to germinate with practice. These glimpses of awareness begin to become more frequent, no longer just isolated moments, but start to seamlessly integrate into our lives in a fluid and natural way. What initially seemed like a fleeting moment of peace begins to expand, and that sense of presence becomes more accessible and enduring. This process is at the core of spiritual awakening. Not an event that changes everything overnight, but a series of small steps that together lead us to a new way of existing. What's interesting is that these moments shouldn't be forced or sought after. In fact, the more we consciously try to reach them, the more they tend to elude us. The key to nurturing these flashes of clarity lies in being receptive to the present without imposing expectations or passing judgments. These moments arise naturally when we stop trying to control them and simply allow ourselves to be. It is in this simplicity where the true essence of awakening lies, a continuous, gradual, and profoundly transformative process that requires no effort, just openness and presence. So, as we reach the end of this video, I want to leave you with an important reflection. The power of consciousness is found in the simplicity of its practice. It doesn't require elaborate rituals or special moments. It is about being present in the now. Available for you anywhere and at any moment, whenever you direct your focus to the present instant, even if it's just for a few moments, you are activating that transformative power, and it is precisely through this constant practice of returning over and over again to the present that we begin to notice how our connection with the world, with the people around us, and with ourselves undergoes a profound transformation. Thank you for having been part of this journey with me. If this video has resonated with you, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to continue exploring topics like this together. I also invite you to share this video with those you think could benefit from this message, and don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts, reflections, or experiences on what we have discussed. Thanks again for your time and for accompanying me on this path. Take care and see you soon.